on one of these, Japanese sites. Love my Japanese listeners. Thank y'all for support. But sometimes y'all sizes be a little bit alarming there. Y'all be a little bit deceiving, Japanese sizes. So there was a jacket that came up. And I'm going to, so I'm going to let you talk right quick then as I try the jacket on. If you're listening, I'm trying on
this. It's a red jacket.
Look at this. Somebody come look
what
at this.
What size was this?
This is a double XL.
So like, you have to go, if you listen online here, you have to go to YouTube to see.
Check this out.
Oh my goodness, you can't even get it
I
on.
can't even put this thing. Look at this. Somebody come look at this. What I expected, I should bring a picture of what it was. They were looking so cool with the red jacket on. Look at this. I can't even. This is a taller size. Look, this is a 2XL. Listen, y'all gotta eat something over there. I'm sorry. Listen, you can't even. If y'all can see that, look at this. Somebody come look at this.
So did it meet your expectations?
Heck no. So now I gotta. Welcome to the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast. We believe in every season of life you need to laugh, learn, and love. I am your host, Mr. Mister, a.k.a. Jeffrey Mister. And right beside me is my wife. 15 plus years. We've birthed 2 kids, at least 2 out there.
Mrs. Mister, a.k.a. Dana Mister, and together we are
the Misters. Yeah.
Last week, Jeff, it was your birthday.
Hey. That's enough, man. It is good to be alive. I was able to celebrate life. Also, too, was able to it was my 20th year, like, high school class reunion. And so I don't know how you feel about your classmates. I absolutely love my class. We had a fantastic. Like, we stayed up super late. I was staying at my mom's house, and on the first night I made it back at like 4:30 in the morning. We just outside talking. It was just catching up, and I was like, so I snuck back in the house. I was like, maybe she's asleep. I can just sleep back in, and I opened the door with the key. It felt like old times real. I was trying to sneak back in, and it was complete dark. I was like, and she was like, hey. So shout out to my mom. I appreciate it. Let me lodge there. So great experience, great time. And
so Jeffrey, how does it feel? Last year in the 30s.
Listen, this I don't know if y'all, because some people follow me on social media. Like somebody stopped us like you be having a good time. I really do be having a good time. I'm really not like a
life's too short.
It is, and I feel like I've soaked in something that has told me. Like, this is life. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is every second, every minute, every moment is so
just
precious.
Enjoy it.
Yes, and there's so many things we get caught up in the world. They got that Rona. They got is the new Lambda version of all that stuff. It is what it is. I can't control it. But the things I can't control, yes,
just make the
I
best
have
of
made
it.
up my mind that I'm going to celebrate and do and live and enjoy the moments and soak it in. It's not even about material things. It's about like when I got a chance to go. So Dana, give her kudos too. Took me out, tried to want, how women be trying to get something from me. And so, so took me out, a little nice little meal and whatnot. And then surprised me, baby. Thank you too. She surprised. If you know my favorite team is the 49ers, I love red in a way, and so it just goes along with the thing. And so, so tickets to the 49ers will be going to see the 49ers live. So can I shake a hand? Let me into the locker room, baby, because I'm going to be back there.
I got to post a video too, my son. That was sweet. Yeah, he had him right there.
He said tears of joy. Like, this ain't your birthday. What are you doing, sir? What's going on here with you?
Oh, my goodness. But I got to love it.
So we were out last week. So I know some people would be looking for us when we were out. So sorry about that. It was just a lot going on.
It was too much going on.
You had events
I had 2 events in 1 week. And
I hate to miss. It really takes something from my spirit. I feel like when I miss like this. So yes, we try to be consistent. So thank y'all for going on this train. If you are new to the train, you're like, what are they talking about? Hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube or something like that. If you're on Apple Podcasts. Yep, go ahead and ping that. Hit a review for us. It helps other people. I'm telling you, it's free. Go ahead and do it right now. Go ahead and press it now and just type in, just saying, I love this, whatever. It helps the algorithm, whatever it is, other people get this. And so I heard from, maybe it was last week, somebody said that they were getting back with their spouse after listening to an episode.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
God is good, man. I promise you, I know some people watch it and listen and they don't say
And
anything.
I know we crazy.
They go, I know. So hopefully though, that was the whole point of this podcast is really to like we say, lab, learn, and love. You gotta do all three of those things together. And sometimes you by yourself trying to do it to bring it into it, but continue to push forward. I know some things you gotta leave from, but if it all possible, I feel like God wants us to try to work out where we can. And so so shout out to y'all, man. I'm not gonna call names on that, but shout out to y'all. Cause I don't know what people want their business out there, but So, but look, appreciate y'all watching, man. Appreciate y'all listening. Appreciate y'all sharing and thanking us in the place. And so we just here. We're not professionals. We have been married for 15 and a half years or so. And so we're just trying to do this thing called life, parenting, all that stuff. So we talk about all that. We get into it. One thing that no matter who you are, whether you're married or unmarried or you divorced or you get back in the game, you have expectations of what marriage is. And so today we're talking about, hold on, let me get the official name. I got the official name for it. What we expected, what we got. What we expected, what we got.
Now, let me tell y'all right now where I'm going with this.
You going?
No,
so I thought about this, right? And so many times we're not honest about it, but also too we're not realistic too. And so, and third, we're gonna talk about all this in just a second. But also too, we're not grateful for some of the things that are already there. You know what I'm saying? And so many times, and I try to steady people who got divorced. We got a brother who's coming on soon that has been through divorce. He kind of talked through that, you know, from a funny perspective. Now he's a comedian too, so but I think somewhere along the way, like we have expectations, maybe don't communicate with those, maybe something's going on. And so let's have a real conversation today. So sit down, take your shoes off. Let's have a real conversation today about that. Like you said, we've been married 15 plus years, so we've had all type of expectations and all those things that go there. So Dana, what are three quick things you expected when you married me? What were three things you expected? First thing off the top of your head. What comes about you think?
Somebody to love me unconditionally.
Okay.
Someone that could be my helpmate. You know, I'm not doing everything by myself.
Okay.
And three, somebody who's just going to
okay. Go ahead and say it. What you about
someone
to say?
that's gonna give me the world. And money is no object.
This show is definitely for you today. Maybe you agree with her. Did you hear the things she said?
No, I just said it because I know he's completely opposite of that. Okay.
No. This is good. I know. No, this is good. I want you to keep that. I want you to bring that into this space today. Bring your whole self into this space today. So let's reiterate those. You said love unconditionally. Somebody's gonna be a helpmate for you, and then somebody that can give you the world.
Money is money.
Money is money, man. Black card. Throw it out there. What you need, huh? You want some extra shrimp and that shrimp and grits? Hey, bring it up. No
Bring it.
Are you want to eat 2 bites? Just throw it away. Okay, good. Okay, all right. Okay.
What about you?
Okay, what are for me 3 things I haven't thought about this before at this point. 3 things that came to mind. I would say companionship. Definitely somebody that I enjoy to spend life with. Not somebody that I have to, but I get to spend life with. So I think companionship first. I think this kind of goes to the second. I was about to say sex, of course. The yams.
Of course.
Part of it. I mean, I'm gonna be frankly honest. I didn't pay. Let me see the ring. Show the ring one time.
Wait a minute.
Show the ring up. Yeah.
Oh my god, I gotta get my nails done.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
My bad. You're trying to. I didn't know. I did not do 76 easy payments to not have.
You didn't do no 76.
I did not do 76 easy payments to not include sex in there. So companionship, sex, and I think if I had to pick something else. Oh, that's the third one is hard because then you got to leave off something. So I would think somebody. So companionship kind of goes with like. I was about to say like, and I think love too in some capacity. So somebody that could help, you know, my purpose, and then I could also help their purpose. Okay. Right? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the word choice is, but like
build each other up, build an empire together. Yeah.
So somebody that gets you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that gets you.
Somebody that have dreams that they understand that you have dreams as well, and you want to reach the dreams together.
That isn't, you know what I'm saying, that desires to help yours, and then also me doing the same thing too. Mm-hmm. So does that make sense? So y'all heard our top 3. What are your top 3 when you got?
Did I meet your expectations?
Did you meet my expectations? Let's go there. Companionship, yeah. I think you gave us a good companionship.
Okay.
The yams, hey, I love a good yam. I could go for one right now if I could, but we got to record this podcast, so that's good. Mm-hmm. And then I think being able to, I do appreciate that you do support, the things that I try to do. So I thank you.
Okay, of course. What? And then
did I meet your expectations?
Let's say you love me unconditionally, most definitely.
Okay.
Let's see. Help me. You definitely do that. You definitely help.
Man,
yes.
You put the clothes up yesterday.
Yes. You killing them. Because I hate putting no clothes. I don't mind washing. I don't mind drying. But putting them up.
Leave them in the washing.
Yeah, I do that.
I'd be like, who washed clothes?
And then I have to rewash.
I'd be like, so we'll talk. Go ahead.
But the third one.
We're gonna talk. We're gonna get into that part. The
third one was give me the world. But honestly, you have definitely done. You have actually exceeded my expectation because when I first met you, it was hard for me to even get Jeff to go on a trip. Like for real, like
I had goals, man. And that's what I said. Listen, date within your budget, though.
No, it was below the budget. Okay, it wasn't within no budget. It was below the budget. So we used to go and share meals, which we still, I think that's still good. It's upset cut out.
I'm down for that.
So
we can slice this little piece in half.
But I can honestly say, like,
one big milkshake?
you have definitely now, would I want more? Of course. But I think for the most part, you have definitely given me the world. We paid off the house. We don't paid off several cars. We only got one car note now. My goal is by next year. So, it's just different things. So, yeah. So, I think for the most part, you've done pretty good.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Give me my flowers. While I can still smell
it. You want a cookie?
Give me my flowers while I can still
smell it.
It does. It smells like pomegranate sweet water, so it does smell good. Thank you, baby.
Yeah, of course.
So.
Sorry.
You see the producer?
The Lord.
The producer here is getting there to tell us. All right, so you ask yourself the same question. You're married, you're dating, you're engaged, you know a joke, and y'all on a date right now. You listen to this right now. Thank you for listening. Ask each other those questions. It's good to have expectations, and so we're going to talk, are those expectations realistic? What we just named, maybe that's number 4 or 5 for us. Maybe we've seen something that's going there. And so every episode we like to laugh, learn, and love. And in this laugh portion, right? This is something we were talking about this morning, just briefly. But what's one thing you ordered that looked amazing, especially online, that you got it and it did not? And we're talking about expectations. So we're talking about what we expected, what we got. This is what I'm going to go ahead.
You going to go first?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. So if y'all hear me rustling, this is something. I love the color red. So I saw online on one of these, Japanese sites. Love my Japanese listeners. Thank y'all for the support. But sometimes y'all sizes be a little bit alarming there. Y'all be a little bit deceiving, Japanese sizes. So there was a jacket that came up. And I'm going to, so I'm going to let you talk right quick then as I try the jacket on. If you're listening, I'm trying on this.
It's a red jacket.
Look at this. Somebody come look
what
at this.
What size was this?
This is a double XL.
So like, you have to go, if you listen online here, you have to go to YouTube to see.
Check this out.
Oh my goodness, you can't even get it on.
I can't even put this thing. Look at this. Somebody come look at this. What I expected, I should bring a picture of what it was. They were looking so cool with the red jacket on. Look at this. I can't even. This is a taller size. Look, this is a 2XL. Listen, y'all gotta eat something over there. I'm sorry. Listen, you can't even, if y'all can see that, look at this. Somebody come look at this.
So did it meet your expectations?
Heck no. So now I gotta pay $87 to ship this back to China. So
now basically he's stuck with it because nobody's gonna pay.
So what I'm doing is I'm waiting for my son to get about this size.
The Jace can't be able to fit that.
He might be able to fit this now.
That
shit. Now. He's 7 years old. He might be able to fit this now. This is not what I expected. This is like marriage. When you see the picture of what you see on Instagram, you see the folks liking and helping all that stuff, you see the black love, you see all the stuff that you expect it, and you get in your jacket, you're like, my marriage is like, what is this? What is somebody come look at this? Oh, I'm about to tear my elbow out. So this is my example Hope y'all got a laugh, but it's real.
You can't even take it
get this off. I'm about to get the jaws of life to get this thing out. So if y'all get some wrestling, this is what this is. Oh, so this did not meet my expectations. Look at this. Yiku, double XL, did not meet my expectations.
Hey, he bought a double XL.
I was like, maybe I can get some extra room out of this to go through. But isn't it not like marriage sometimes when you expect something, you see a picture of it, or you have something in your mind, you actually get in it, you're like, this joker here don't fit at all. And so that's something right there. You got anything that you...
Yes. So for you guys know, I do florals, right? I do florals, and so again, partner rustling. But so I do florals,
okay.
And so when you do florals, so if you don't know, so if you do florals, you usually have to get like a little tray, right?
Okay.
And in the tray, you get like something called wet foam, and wet foam, you're able to put it, wet it, and then that way you put it in the tray. Then you're able to, because I only do real flowers, and so that way you put the flowers, so it holds the water for the flowers, right? So anyway, so I had an event last week, and so I was on Amazon. And I was like, let me just try something different. Let me, because, I'm trying to figure out different ways to save money, that sort of things, because y'all know when you have a business, you don't make money till after the first 5 years. So I'm trying to beat that 5-year record. So anyway, I was like, this is what I expected. This is what I expected. This is what I expected. It's a brick. It's the size of a brick. So this is what I expected. And you could cut it to fit it to the tray and everything. This is what I expected, right?
That's nice.
This is what I expected.
What you expected? Now what you got?
And this is what I got. Okay. Look at this tray. Look at this. This is what I got. And Amazon, they had like 24, and I'm thinking I'm getting a steal. So guess what I ended up having to do, right? So this, I tried to make it work. I tried to put 3 in there, tape it down. The flowers, it was not doing it. So guess what I had to do? I had to go and I had to spend more money to go get these to make it work. So again, it's about expectations. So when you read the description, and I read the description, read the reviews, and you know what?
So people listen like a little circle, or
it's
real
small. It's like, let me show you the difference.
A fourth of the size.
Let me show you the difference.
An eighth of the size of what the thing.
This is the difference.
So that's very different expectation. What you got and what you expected is two.
Yes, which I would be able to use these, but I was making big floral arrangements, right? So, but I'll be able to use these for some small ones because I'm keeping them because I don't pay my money for them.
Hello.
But
it's not what you expected.
This is not what I expected because I needed to make a big pool.
Not what you expected at all. I can see how you would be disappointed.
So the day of the event, shout out to LaWanda. She was helping me. She had to go to Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and Walmart to get the
So it cost you more.
It cost me more in the end. Yeah.
So there
it is.
So maybe something you ordered online. Maybe something you got. Maybe you got into your marriage. Your relationship, you was thinking, I'm expecting somebody that's gonna do this. I'm expecting this, and I didn't get that. And I think that's where I know we're laughing about these things, but I was a little disappointed. I was like, because I wanted to wear it somewhere. Now I'm like, now I gotta try to find a backup, or you getting those floor things. You like, now I gotta try to hustle bus, get somebody to do those things. So it's laughable when you got an item or something like that, but when it's something you're married, sometimes somebody listens right now like, you know what, this is not. I'm thinking about getting off this train. And so pause where you are real quick. We're going to talk about expectations. Hope you can leave today with something you can talk about, you can get into that'll help you regardless of whatever your expectations are and regardless of whatever happened before in the past. So something to be able to help you as you think through that. So don't order the Chinese jackets and don't get the floral with the second thing off Amazon.
Just got to hop it out,
If nothing else. All right, real quick. Now getting to love. I mean learn all the L's there. So we left. All right, learning. Quick expectations, right? So I'm gonna say something, and I just want us to say what's the first thing that came to our minds when we got married 15 plus years ago. It's a little hard to think back to. We still fine. Just let that be known. Now. Let that be known. Don't let this 15 plus years fool you. You know what I'm saying? Little young chickadee. So okay, so I'm gonna say something. We're gonna say the first thing that we thought about when that time comes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So. All right. What were your expectations with communication? First thing pop your mind.
Open.
Mine was mutual, tough conversations, willingness, tough conversations. I think. So,
no.
You don't think I was willing?
No.
Was I willing?
You talking about radical honesty?
Oh no, not in the beginning. Maybe not.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of because I got 15 years.
Yeah.
When we first started, I think it was. I thought it would be easier. I guess maybe.
Yeah.
I thought it would just be.
Yeah, I think easier probably.
Probably be a better term.
Yeah.
Because we got married super young, so well, like 22, whatever. So our communication. All right. What were your expectations with domestic duties like cooking, fixing plates, taking out the trash, sweeping, mopping?
I think cooking. I expected more from me. Cooking, cleaning, me. Fixing plates, me. Taking out the trash, you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's completely.
What
just went out the window.
What do we got? What do we so?
So now cooking, both of us more. So you cleaning, still me, and the people that come in.
You see that? Those are the commercials they drop the little thing. You see how she do? It's all me. Oh yeah, please. You didn't hear, if you didn't hear that, don't blink. You see how she slipped it in. Oh, it's me. Oh, yes, I ordered the people come to me. Slip that in. I don't know what it sounds like. It's not, don't judge me.
Hey, don't judge me here.
What we used to say.
It's a plate, still me. You fix plates too. Take it out the trash. I think that's both of us now. Okay. Yeah. You mainly do it, but I help. Especially when I have my flowers and stuff. Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, cool. So, cool. As we can keep on. All right. What were your expectations with the yams, aka sex?
Often.
Mine was, we need to be getting that thing in. Like I said, what I please see earlier reference to reading. That was my incentive when I was in K2. It was like, okay, so you saying I buy the ring and the yams come. It works that way? No, but yeah, but being able to, a lot of people don't talk about sex because it's something that they didn't talk about, their parents talk about too, and so you come into that place. It's a book that I have for us to read. We gotta start
read it. Did it come in?
So, it's in. We'll talk about that, and we read it. We'll kind of bring it up. All right, faith. What are your expectations with faith?
Couldn't live without it.
Okay, well not you. Just faith. I'm talking about in the marriage.
Yeah.
Okay.
You couldn't live without it.
I thought you were saying, okay.
No. You can't. For me personally, I was like, we wouldn't make it without it.
Yeah. I don't know how other people. Maybe other people do it. I think
hey, whatever works for you. But I know for this one.
Foundational piece. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Last one, and we'll get to this thing. Is what were your expectations around finances coming in? Them dollars.
I don't know. I think it switched. I think at first, okay.
No, you good.
I think at first, I think I wanted us to combine everything together.
Drop it in one pot.
Drop it in one pot and all of that stuff. But then, as we progress along, we realized what works for us and that wasn't working for us.
Yeah. So, okay, cool. So, what you expected was to drop it in one pot.
But,
what we got is some system that works for us.
Right.
Okay, I agree with that part. I don't know if I expected in a bigger pot because I was kind of asking questions. This is something we need to talk about the whole podcast because I always get questions about that. Like, how y'all do y'all finances? What y'all do to pay the house off? All those things right there. And so, the one thing we talked about was if they don't want to get me a car, like, is it really give me a car if it's both? You know what I'm saying? If it's the thing right there, or vice versa, or like that. Like, if I bought her something that's expensive, and then she's like, I probably could have picked the one I really. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way. That's the way we kind of think. Yours may be different. You may like that. You may be fine with that. But I think being able to communicate what your expectations are, what you got, does it match? Is it something you're willing to, adapt?
And for some people, the whole pot together, I think that works. I think that's amazing. Sure. I think for me, Jeff and I have. Like for example, great example. Like I wanted to surprise him to the trip to Chicago or whatnot. Like if that would have been in our pot, he would have been like, "Well, dang, I just paid for my own trip." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and I know, and so I don't like. I don't know. I love surprising Jeff. Jeff probably attested to this. Like I love surprising my family. Period. My love language
you do a good job.
My love language is gifts. So like serving and gifts. So when I'm able to combine the two together, it makes me like watching them open up stuff and me serving, like it just does my heart good. So
I gave you a gift that you can serve.
So So for me, I think so that will work. So just a short simple, I think we shared this before. We have one joint account where we pay all the bills, all of that stuff, and then everything extra, like Jeff has his, I have mine, and then that what we're able to do. But we share and all of that stuff. Like
to avoid different things too, because like some people, like let's say, like we're like. Most couples have this. They have somebody that's more of a natural spender and more of a natural saver. So like, one thing we wanted to avoid was like disagreements of like, oh, you got extra cheese on your black bean burger. What you want? You know what I'm saying? So just to avoid.
Yeah. And then and the thing about us, but one thing, let me put it out there, so y'all won't be saying, well, we both own everybody accounts because if something should happen, you want to make sure. So I have assets, so he has assets, so he's on the business, everything. So we own each other's stuff. So don't get it twisted now. We own each other's stuff. So my thing is, but it's just certain. It works for us, and like even like when the orders pay off the house, like. I paid all the what is it called, utility stuff like that, and so Jeff was able to double up payments on the mortgage, so was able to pay off the house. So it's just different things that we were able to do. So it's different things. And I heard people living off one income and then putting that. So I think that's amazing. Where you live off one income and everything else that the other person put it in savings. But you have to trust each other. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the main thing. You have to trust each other to make it work.
You said a mouthful, and I think where many times you expected something. There was a couple who got married right before us, and the expectation was for hey, I'm giving you this to pay these bills. And when it didn't happen, the trust gets eroded to that point to where I can't trust you to do this. And now the lights are off. And so I think,
And Jeff ain't never came home and no lights were off.
It's one thing. You can say a lot about me, but if we agree to something, please tell me if I missed anything in this. I'm just going back in my own mind because I could be wrong. But anything that we've agreed to, I'm going to stick to it regardless. I'm going to kind of follow up. I don't think I've ever missed a thing or missed a payment on anything before. So out of our whole time,
water's always ran, lights always been on.
If nothing else, you might not have to worry, but them lights gonna flick on.
The only thing that Jeff and I we haven't completely agreed upon is what we do for the kids. That's yes. So that's one thing that we have.
I'm trying to bring her back from. I have no idea. I'm like, so this is just a quick so that we gotta get these 88, which I like. Is the fact that she was like, oh, these kids. I be like, these kids are living rent free. I'm like the dad off of Everybody Hates Chris. The dad out there, the one that has those things on there. So I'm a firm believer in these kids. Listen, they got a father they like. An active father, doing homework with them, helping them, giving them hugs, tell them I love you. That to me is $1 billion.
So what he's talking about, because so Jace and Malia, we got them little green light cards. We got them their own little debit card because we wanted to teach them about even at a young age about when you go to the store, mommy and daddy's not gonna always get it, so you could use your card. But the thing about it is, at one point in time, I was adding $50 to the card.
It's like
to each person. He was like, who does?
That's a great example of the difference between those two. I said,
but we reduced it after we discussed it. We saw about budget and all that stuff. We did our budget for the year.
I found a cease and desist order on the spot. I said, what are they doing?
So we reduced it. We reduced it.
But that is a good example of just the expectation of, is that too much? Is that too? How you have, on Coming to America when he went and Sammy went to try to go ask the king for some money. He was like, hey, I look for a person Western using for $500,000. And the lady was like, you sure that's enough? Why not?
Why not go for it?
That's gonna cool me. He's like, do you not think that would be too much? I'm the teller lady, and she is Simi going to $50. Do you not think that would be too much? That's what it is. So I think it's just that. So better. So one thing I do appreciate though, you do help me think about other things. So we probably wouldn't go on as many trips if it wasn't for you doing this. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
And we also would be way over budget if we just allowed it to complete it. So I'm the finance resource.
Because he's
I'm the
like,
HR resource.
he's like, because in regards to the trips, because he was like, man, when you come off a trip, but people don't understand. First of all, you save money when you go ahead and book in advance. Second of all, like, it gives you something to look forward to. I work too hard. We work too hard.
No debate on that.
So, like,
I go into a financial fast as I get off the trip. I just need water and bread and water for a couple weeks to balance it. This is how I mentally balance off my things. When we get back, I was like, hey, you want to go out to eat? I was like, go out to eat? What you?
So that's the reason why for Jeff, I've started to learn to do more all-inclusive places because that way, I
don't see the.
Well, because when you go, when we go to Hawaii and stuff, you still got to pray for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right?
I gotta see a crack before I go.
But like when you got an all-inclusive, when we went to Los Cabos, everything was already included and that sort of thing.
Go on vacations. I know we're talking about. Yeah. Shout out my cousin C. Around vacations and trips as a whole thing. Go back and listen to the podcast. We break it down if you missed that part too. I'm going there. So expectations. Where are you right now? Yes. What are your expectations and what do you get at this point? So Susan Merrill wrote 8 expectations for a great marriage, and we want a great marriage. We hope y'all want a great marriage. And if you're not in a great marriage, what are you working toward to get out of it? Because many times you can stay in that thing and just start talking. Oh, look at them. And
everything bothers you.
Everything bothers you. Look how they chew. Look at them sleep. Look how they drink this water. Look how they do those things. And so, if you go in knowing what the expectations are, what you need to communicate, are they realistic? Like, if I was expecting them yams every single night going into marriage, now there may be some marriages that's going down, but you're setting yourself up for a disappointment. Or ladies, if you're expecting to have Gucci and all the rest of the things every single time, you maybe there's guys that's doing that, but you may be setting yourself up for something that's going to be a disaster. So maybe those things aren't realistic. So what are 8 expectations for a great marriage to get you out of here? Number 1, expect conflict. Conflict will happen, and that's okay. And have you seen conflict happen in a real way, in a way that doesn't feel right? Many times you see the love and hip hop conflict, or you see the people where it's strictly like once you disagree with me, it's on from that point. And so being able to see conflict, like healthy conflict, that's something that I want our kids to see. Like, we don't agree all the time, but it's like, trying to work through that.
Because it's not a matter if it happens, when it happens. Oh. And so conflict is going to happen. I don't know one marriage where conflict did not occur at all. So.
Or somebody's lying to her. Or somebody is shutting themselves down so they really don't say
anything. Yeah, if there's no conflict, somebody in the relationship has shut it down.
Somebody. Yeah. Now you may be smoothing us. Now you may have married somebody the complete opposite. It's like, that was fun. Now y'all, but it's some type of conflict no matter what. And so being able to do that. 2 is expect delays. Woo, that's a tough one right there. Because many people have a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, and I was talking to a coworker of mine. Now she has 2 kids, and so she was like, I wasn't expecting to have kids, but all my friends are having kids. I was like, well, I might as well go ahead and get it. And so now, it was just the expectation of like delays at one time. So if she didn't have kids, like we had miscarriage and stuff, before this point. So it's like, if you think it's going to go, if you're rigid on just your expectations of what you think is going to happen, and you don't have a lot of grace, a lot of patience. And, talking about love, love is kind of love, is long suffering in the sense, nobody really wants that. Nobody wants to go, saying, man, I was reading an article about somebody who, like, they hadn't had sex in, like, 2 years or longer, I guess, at that point. So, they're like, this is not what I signed up for. Nobody, I don't think anybody would sign up for it. But it's like, how do you work through it in, like, if you expect delays? And, okay, God, what are you working in us in this situation too?
Yeah, I think delays is definitely going to happen as well. I like what it says. It says, planning for your future is a great thing to do as a couple. Just understand that things don't arrive on schedule. Not babies, not raises, not the sitter. And so I think, a lot of times, especially when you see other people and all of that stuff, you're like, man, so don't look at other people because you never know what they've gone through to get there. But, just expect it's going to happen in your season. It's going to happen when God says it's going to happen. Romans 8:28 is going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Yep.
So it's going to happen, if he expects for it to happen, if he wants it to happen. But, just continue to do the work, continue to work together as a couple, and grow in that thing together. And look, and I say, enjoy the ride.
Yes, I think that's the part of it.
Yeah,
and if you can do something without, let's say you've heard of somebody's like, oh man, thing is, I want to go on trips y'all were going on. Or can you have the same fun at Applebee's or whatever you know what I'm saying? Like being able to, trips are great, but it's like if you could, on those times you can't maybe finance a crunch right now, can we still have fun in the present season that we're in right now and not just long for something later and like, okay, when we do get the raise, then we'll be happy. Can we be happy in what the situation is right now to where you work towards it? And not just expecting it, and you kind of go with this thing. Number 3 is
expect disappointments.
Yeah.
File this in you're both only human category. Your husband would not be the answer to all of your problems. He won't be a mind reader or anticipate all of your needs. Be prepared to forgive.
Yes.
And that's one thing. I think that's one of the things I think is hard. Like one thing that I had to learn is people will disappoint you, and it's inevitable. Like just think about it. From your mother to your spouse, to your sister, your brother, your boss, you being an employee. Like people are gonna disappoint you because guess what? We're human. And I think one thing is that's the reason why I was gonna say before we start the episode, but I didn't want to take away. Don't have no expectations. Just remove expectations because life happens. And one of the things I think sometimes we could put so much into people and we invest so much into people, like we forget that they would disappoint us. And it's okay because guess what? You disappoint them too. So I think that's one of the things is the only person that you can truly rely on and that without a shadow of a doubt that won't disappoint you is God. And even sometimes you may feel like that he's disappointed you because if you don't get your way on something,
That's about you taking the words out of my mouth.
So I just think just expect disappointments. And that's for any relationship. And just be quick to forgive. I think we put people on pedestals or we have high expectations for people. And then when they disappoint us, then it makes it harder for us to forgive. Be quick to forgive because guess what? They have to quick and forgive you. You will want the same forgiveness.
It's the part about I'm focused on the speck in your eye, but I got a whole hole in my own eye. Yeah. But it's so easy to pick the other part out of it that you try to get to that point. So expecting those disappointments. And if you expect something, and I love how this is like naming things that we want to name all the things that we expect as positive, but expecting things like little hitches in the road. So when it comes to like, oh yeah, I expected us to not to pay the, this didn't go through, or this job didn't go through. So it's like I'm prepared for this, so I'm not broken. Because
I think about even when I plan events and stuff, right? Like I know I put my all in, but I expect something is gonna go crazy, and I don't care how much planning and preparation. I just expect it. Like for this is a prime example. I plan everything, make sure everything's pulled, and this happened. You get this versus this, but you have to be able to adjust and be flexible. And I think sometimes we get in a rut and we just like, you know what? Oh my goodness, like the world has ended. No, it has not ended. You could continue to go on. Like you just have to, okay, let's adjust. Let's, cry later. But while you in that moment, adjust.
This is where in a relationship, when you expected something to happen and they didn't get the job or they didn't come through on whatever situation or your situation didn't go through, how do you respond? Is usually a good barometer of like the health meter for what your relationship is. And it's something that I want to talk about on an upcoming podcast coming up now. 4 things. If you're doing these 4 things, they're saying that this is a great sign that you're headed toward divorce. If you can realistically think about that, but that's something. What you name it is you spot on of when things don't go. When you had that blowout and you hit it, you're like, do you freak out completely? You're like, you know what? I mean, I didn't want this, but this is something that like I can't control. Like me blowing up at my spouse or doing something at them or doing something like that. Is that helping the situation out itself? And if you can maturely step back for a moment and say, oh, no, this is not where we want to be. But
you have to practice emotional intelligence for sure. And I know that's hard. I know it's depending on the situation, especially if you don't have a crazy day at work and all of that stuff. But you have to practice emotional intelligence, and you have to say, you know what? again, I think that's the reason why I want to say at the beginning, throw your expectations out the window. Because I think a lot of times we do set these unrealistic expectations and that nobody can conquer and accomplish. But my thing is, but hey, if you want to set expectations, set your goals, whatever you want to call it, and work through them, but just realize that life is going to happen.
Okay, 4 is expect to be annoyed.
That was my post for Jeff's birthday.
You did it.
I was like, although he drives me crazy, I'm still in love with him.
I lost my mind a long time ago.
Yes.
So expecting in the end, I think the answer to that is when you're annoyed, it's like finding something grateful. So like when you do something that annoys me, I try to be. This is gonna talk about the next one too, I guess, this minute. But like I try to find something I'm grateful for. And I was reading somewhere too. I was reading about like relationship stuff like that. It takes I think it takes 10 or 12 like grateful thoughts to combat one negative thought you think about your spouse. So if you're thinking about some all the time about, ooh, look how he is wearing, look at his shirt, he didn't got too big. And so now if you constantly think about that, of course you're not gonna be in the mood for romance or anything like that because you're looking at that person from a negative perspective. If I can think about some positive about that person and about gratitude about what they have, and still, being able to communicate positive expectations in a loving way is different, but it's just, being able to communicate that in a positive and not focusing on all the negative things that you have. Is
and I just say it like this. I put it like this. Of course, we love us.
Oh, we don't be like, oh, I'm so dusty.
Right.
Oh, I'm so.
You love yourself, or at least I hope you do. Now, I love me, right? And so, but the thing about it is, it's so easy for other things to annoy the heck out of me. Like I'm just saying, because I'm the only person that do it right?
Hold on, let me go ahead and say number 5. Number 5, you just said that expect to think you're doing more. Let me say that one more time. This is where people come in with their nose up. Oh, let me tell you what I do in this relationship. Let me break it down. I communicate all the time. I pick up all the things. I clean up. I do all this stuff. I iron all the clothes. I drive people.
Your stuff stink too.
in those moments, right? Because everybody has these moments sometimes. Some people more than others. But it's the fact of how can you sober up and think about this is the truth for me. Expect you to think you're doing more. And one thing I was thinking about is having an advocate for your spouse or your mate when those things come up. Because most of the time, the advocates that you speak about is for you. You show right, you do it all. Oh, you are a great kid. Do you see how you do it? Oh, they don't appreciate you. Somebody will appreciate you. You show right. You need to leave him alone. And you got no voices speaking up for your spouse that's like, well, are you hungry?
You have to be empathetic. And you have to show compassion. And you have to...
I'm telling you, that's the key. Having somebody, when that person's not there, because when you come, on your drive home, you sit back, oh, these folks, looking now, the thing is, I got to go back and they didn't left the thing on, I got to go back and you say, well, you know what? What about the time you did this? Snap, you're right. And they went above and beyond. Remember the time they came to your job and did that thing for you? Oh, that was nice. But most of the time,
basically remove yourself out of it. If you can, remove yourself out of it, put your spouse, just be empathetic with your spouse, right? So, because say thank you. And my thing is communicate with them. Things that they annoy you. And I'm not saying because things do annoy you. But, especially with your spouse, communicate with them what annoys you. But you have to do it in a loving way.
There you go.
So
that's the hard part. Because most of the time it comes out.
Yeah.
You don't never. That's one thing we try to take away. Never and always. You don't never. I'm like, and I'm already, now I'm feeling some type of, now I'm ready.
Because when you attack your spouse, the first thing they're going to do is, and it's natural, is they're going to be going to defense, right? Because that's natural. That's our body is made up. Like when somebody comes to attack you, whether physically or spiritually or mentally, emotionally, verbally, like the first thing that you're going to do is put your gloves on and you're going to war. It doesn't matter who it is. That's your natural response.
Especially somebody you see all the time. It's a different relationship when you see them all the time. For caregivers too, they get the worst.
They get the worst end of the stick.
The same thing you see right there because you suppose, and it's that I deserve spirit. Like I deserve for you to be doing this for me because let me tell you how good of a person I am. And we get that little picture.
So number 6, expect to disagree with some of his or her decisions. Just because you want a marriage don't mean you're going to agree with everything with that person. Because guess what?
Your Instagram picture looks so good. Y'all disagree.
But, and that's okay. It's okay. You don't have to agree with everything that your significant other does. But respect his right to have a different opinion than you. And I think for some reason, I don't know who came up with the rule that we all have to think the same. And I've realized this, y'all, and I'm going to be honest with y'all. Like, this whole debate on vaccinated versus unvaccinated, and like, it's bothering me. And like, it's bothering me because I'm just like, it's okay if somebody else have a different opinion on you, and it goes back to I'm gonna hurt some people, but it goes back to when y'all tell women, oh, you have the right to choose you have the right to do what you please with your body when it comes to work. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna, but I just feel like. But I do feel like it's okay for people to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so many people don't know how to like have a healthy conversation with somebody that's on the other side of them. Yeah. Policy with the life, whatever.
Yeah. Because for example, I'm vaccinated. Jeff is not vaccinated. I've communicated.
You can't be putting my business.
Well, I'm sorry. But Jeff and I, we communicated, we discussed, we talked about it. Like, my thing is, at the end of the day, I have to respect his right. Now, and I tell him, like, these are the consequences. Like, hey, if you decide not to, you could get really sick. My thing is, you don't want me to spend this life insurance money with another boo. So, it's like, you know what I'm saying? So, it's like, at the end of the day, though, my prayer is that he makes the best decision. Mm-hmm. We talked about because the kids can't get vaccinated. We've discussed everything. That we could possibly. But he has his mind made up. So and we got this. We got a bit. I got a bit surprise for them coming, and so I'm like, you gonna miss out on the surprise. So Gigi gonna take your spot. So so I've shared everything that I possibly can. Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, I respect his decision if that's his desire. Mm-hmm. So
the last two is expect not to be attracted to him or her. Yikes for men with visual creatures. And 8 is expect to be with him or her until the end. Expect not to be attracted to him or her. I would say all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, not expecting her to be like the Instagram models all the time, fellas. If you scrolling looking at Instagram models all the time, you expect your spouse.
When I take this wig off, you can get what he get.
Ooh, get the cornrows.
That'll stop you the other night, though.
I heard that. We gotta do what you gotta do. But having realistic expectations. So whether yours for men, if yours is that your spouse, like they can't gain weight or they can't do like that, you gotta. Or women, you expected him to make a certain amount of money or do all these other things. Is it realistic or something that you get from something else? And the last thing, expecting to be with him or her until the end. Like really coming in, believing like this is marriage for life and not just for a season or until you get on my nerves or until something happens. I understand, sometimes you gotta depart for physical reasons or somebody, crazy like that, you gotta get out of there. But if possible, I think sometimes we get out of there prematurely because we don't have that face right there. And so expect not to be attracted to him or her. Like, still work on you. Now, don't get like, well, I'm married. Give me these bum buns. I'm going to live out. Not talking like that when you just, when you become complacent.
Because I know for me, I have my highs and my lows. Like, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to my weight and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But just still think I'm fine, regardless of what size I am.
Yeah, you're going
Anyway, expect to be with him and her until the end. Mm-hmm. Now, if you have any expectations, this is the one I probably would keep.
Yeah. I would even add this though, being willing to work. Many times we want people to cater to us. Like there's a selfishness that we're in naturally with sometimes. We expect people to cater to us. And if you cater to me, I'll be with you to the end. And so there are some conditions that we are built upon. Mm-hmm. And so if those conditions aren't met, then I'm out. And so I think being able to communicate that. And so when we do couples coaching, when I talk to couples like this, one thing I talk about is like, what are your expectations? Have you communicated those? Have you re-communicate those again? Mm-hmm. Which way was the tone you communicate? What time did you communicate those things in? All those things matter. And so as Dana said, expecting to be with the person to the end, I think is really pushing through and saying, you know what? I know all these things are gonna come up. I'm expecting some negative things to happen. But I'm saying, I'm agreeing, I'm coming to a covenant with you, willing to push through some of those things. And I don't even know what's going to come up yet. But with that mindset, though, I think you can push through in love and get there. So what were your expectations when you got to get married? when you got married or you about to get married, talk about them. Get back to it. Love portion, getting y'all out here. Discuss your expectations with your partner on or a non-biased, like professional or friend. You get there and think about these 3 things. Are they realistic? The experience I had about sex, about money, about my thing, about company stuff. Are they realistic, or is it from a movie? Are they fair? Am I asking for all this and I'm not putting in nothing? I don't want to know what your expectations are. These are my long list of expectations. You need to meet them. But when you bring me something, I'm pushing back. And are they selfless? That's something we talk about in our vows. We go back and listen to the vow episode, great episode too. But are they selfless? Or is it all about me? Is it what you do for me? Or are my expectations is what I'm doing for you in those? Ooh, that's big there because it's easy. Just like you named earlier, I love me some me.
I love me.
So I want you to cater to me. I want you to give me grapes, put them in my mouth, and feed me grapes. But have I even tuned in to saying what your expectations are? Or am I only willing to fulfill your expectations once all 98 of mine are met at that point? And it's not fair. It's not fair at that point in time. So being able to do that, you get through. So talk about your expectations. What you got, what was your expectations and what you got. And being realistic, funny, like we try to laugh about like real stuff. And what we gonna do? What we gonna do about it? Right. But I think one thing is just seeing the person try. Whether they get it right all the time or not. Like you mentioned forgiveness, saying, loving on them, showing it grace. But are you just trying? Just put an effort toward doing something. It may not be all of what they're saying, but yeah. So
on that, so for the love, discuss your expectations with your partner.
There it is.
On a non-biased basis. Or a non-biased friend.
Realistic.
Are they realistic? Are they fair? And are they selfless?
Yep. So you argue through this episode? Probably, maybe. You still maybe doing it? Stop. Look at each other in the eyes and say the Mr. Mantra. I like you. I love you. And I want you. A little thigh out there. I like a little thigh. I ain't never liked my chicken, but I do like a thigh.
Well, thank you for tuning in this week. We're looking forward to another great episode. And please drop it in the comments,
Yeah, before you go ahead and just say anything in the comments. I promise you help out that.
Like, share, subscribe, all those things.
Love with the missiles, but we ain't perfect. We trying. Right? Love you, God.
As my son say, buy the merch.
You can do it.